Hello and welcome to another video around Bing Chat. These are becoming somewhat random in nature, owing to the fact that as I kick the tyres on this particular piece of technology, I'm uncovering lots of interesting things. So just to set this up and why this is going to be writing a story about Pink Mouse Dave and the Philosopher. So for quite a while now, on and off, and it started out as a little bit of fun, and it still is, I started reading to our kitty in the evening. And the kitty in question is a kitty I call the Yowly Kitty, and often features in Magic the Gathering videos, yowling in the background now and again. So last night, while we were relaxing on the sofa, I used Chat Bing to make up a story, and the kitty enjoyed it. It was purring away. So I figured, let's have a go at writing another story about Pink Mouse Dave and the Philosopher and see where we end up. So I'm just going to simply, in creative mode, ask it to write a short story about Pink Mouse Dave and the Philosopher, and we'll see what happens. Pink Mouse Dave is Yowly Kitty's favourite toy, by all accounts. Also, Pink Mouse Dave hangs out in the library, and today looks like he's reading the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Oh, it's Professor Smith who teaches philosophy. So last night's story involved Nietzsche. Oh, it stopped. So, when it did this last night, what did I say? Let me just, not that this is going to crash, but I always like to make a copy of these. So I'm just going to simply copy this into a Google document I have opened on the side here. There we go. So let's see, how did the story end? Oh, they lived happily ever after. So, was there anything profound here? I don't think this will take very long to read. Let me read it to you. So here's a short story I wrote about Pink Mouse Dave and the Philosopher. Pink Mouse Dave was a curious creature. He lived in a small hole in the wall of a library where he spent his days reading books and learning new things. He especially liked philosophy because it made him think about the meaning of life and the nature of reality. One day he decided to venture out of his hole and explore the library. He climbed up the shelves and jumped from one book to another until he reached a section labelled Philosophy. He saw a book with an intriguing title, The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. He opened it and began to read. He was fascinated by the words of the ancient Roman emperor, who wrote about his personal reflections on how to live a good and virtuous life. He read sentences like, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Pink Mouse Dave felt inspired by these teachings. He wanted to learn more about Marcus Aurelius and his philosophy. He wondered if there was anyone in the library who could teach him more. He looked around and saw a man sitting at a table nearby. He was wearing glasses and a tweed jacket. He had a beard and a pipe in his mouth. He was reading a book with the same title as the one Pink Mouse Dave had found. Pink Mouse Dave decided to approach him. He ran across the floor and climbed up the leg of the table. He reached the edge and peeked over it. He saw that the man was engrossed in his reading and did not notice him. Pink Mouse Dave cleared his throat and said in a squeaky voice, I don't think I'm going to attempt the squeaky voice here. Maybe I will. "Excuse me, sir, are you a philosopher?" The man looked up from his book and saw Pink Mouse Dave staring at him with wide eyes. He was startled and almost dropped his pipe. "A talking mouse," he exclaimed. "How is this possible?" Pink Mouse Dave smiled and said, "I'm Pink Mouse Dave. I live in this library. I love reading books and learning new things." The man blinked and rubbed his eyes. He thought he must be dreaming or hallucinating. "Who are you?" he asked. "I'm Professor Smith," the man said. "I teach philosophy at the university." "Philosophy?" Pink Mouse Dave said excitedly. "That's what I want to learn more about." He pointed at the book on the table and said, "I was just reading this book by Marcus Aurelius. He was a great philosopher, wasn't he?" The man nodded and said, "Yes, he was. He was a Stoic." "A Stoic?" Pink Mouse Dave asked. I've given up the voice of Pink Mouse Dave a bit because it was causing a problem with my throat. "Yes," the man said. "A Stoic is someone who follows the philosophy of Stoicism." "What is Stoicism?" Pink Mouse Dave asked. The man smiled and said, "Stoicism is a school of thought that teaches how to live in harmony with nature and reason, how to control one's emotions and desires, how to endure pain and hardship with courage and dignity, how to act with justice and wisdom in all situations." "That sounds amazing," Pink Mouse Dave said. "It is," the man said. "Would you like me to teach you more about it?" "Yes, please," Pink Mouse Dave said eagerly. "Very well," the man said. "But first let me ask you this. Why do you want to learn philosophy?" Pink Mouse Dave thought for a moment and said, "Because I want to understand myself better, because I want to know what is good and what is evil, because I want to find happiness and peace in this world." The man nodded approvingly and said, "Those are noble reasons indeed. You have a curious mind and a good heart, Pink Mouse Dave." He reached into his pocket and took out a small piece of cheese. He broke off a piece and gave it to Pink Mouse Dave. "Here," he said, "this is for you." Pink Mouse Dave took the cheese gratefully and nibbled on it. "Thank you," he said. "You're welcome," the man said. He opened his book again and said, "Now, let us begin our lesson on Stoicism." And so they did. Pink Mouse Dave learned many things from Professor Smith that day. He learned about Zeno of Cithium, who founded Stoicism, about Epictetus, who taught how to be free from external things, about Seneca, who wrote letters on how to live well, about Marcus Aurelius himself, who practiced Stoicism in his meditations. He learned how to be calm and rational, how to be grateful and generous, and how to be honest and loyal, how to be brave and resilient. He also learned how to be a good friend to Professor Smith, who treated him with kindness and respect. They had many conversations about philosophy and life. They shared their thoughts and feelings, their hopes and fears, their joys and sorrows. They became the best of friends. One day, Pink Mouse Dave said to Professor Smith, "Thank you for teaching me so much. You are a wise and good man. I'm lucky to have met you." Professor Smith said to Pink Mouse Dave, "Thank you for being my student. You're a smart and good mouse. I'm lucky to have met you too." They hugged each other and smiled. They lived happily ever after. The end. Oh, wasn't that a nice story? I'm sure Yowly Kitty will greatly appreciate that this evening. I'm just looking. This is funny. Show me some recipes. Did they ever face any trouble or danger? That's a sweet ending. I like it. Well, it's always nice to thank the chatbot. There we go. I want to do one final thing before I sign off. It can do this. Could you design a piece of artwork to go with this story? You know, I put at work there. That should be artwork. Oh. There we go. It might say no. I'm not sure where the artwork situation is with Bing Chat. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. So it looks like Professor Smith is also a mouse. There you go. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, this is fun. That's more like it. That will be quite fun. That's maybe a project I'll have to pursue off camera, is to actually, properly format the story. At the moment, I've just got it sitting in a Google Doc, and then insert in some of these photos. So I think I'll work on that offline and finish the video here. Hopefully it's inspired people to get creative with stories. Obviously this one was a rather whimsical one. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in the next video.